So obviously you guys know that I'm now a married man and one day I hope to have kids, but there's this new trend of parenting that says why gentle parenting isn't the answer either, which I admit, I think gentle parenting is a fucking joke. I think it's one of those trends that people do on TikTok to feel good, but in reality, it's no way to raise your kids. This is how you run entitled dumb cunts. So let's watch a video on why gentle parenting isn't the answer either. Next generation of kids will be brainwashed by social media to be just as stupid as their parents.
Can I tell y'all a story? I am literally afraid of my child. I honestly cannot get him to stop hurting me. Obviously, the gentle no is not working. We're that couple who at restaurants, people stare at and shake their heads. We don't know what we did wrong.
Shut your big mouth, I hate you.
I'm concerned our gentle parenting has backfired and perhaps our baby boomer parents were correct. We already know abusive, narcissistic parenting ain't the right way to raise a child. But from what we see here, it seems like the literal exact opposite of that isn't the answer either. But why?
It's very easy. And every good parents know this. All you have to do if you want well-obedient children is to, one, never say the words, because I said so. That doesn't help anything. Explain it to them, because kids aren't asking you why, because they want to be annoying and defiant unless you've rewarded them for doing so. They're asking you why because they actually don't fucking know, because they're a kid. And if you want them to listen and have a reason to listen, either one, get them to respect you by giving them consistent outcomes so they know that what you say is best for them, as well as give them a value system. Give them something that they really want and allow them more access to the thing that they want if they are good, whether that's a console game to play or going to do something like an activity they want to do, or maybe even currency like doing chores, and show them that if they behave, they get the good thing that they want. And if they misbehave, then they don't get that. It's very simple to do. Once again, I don't have kids. One day I hope that I will. And I would love to put my money where my mouth is in case I eventually do have kids. But unfortunately, people would rather get brainwashed by women who want to appear like good parents rather than actually be good parents.
Why? What are today's parents missing that's stopping kids from growing up to be normal? Let's look at 3 stories of gentle parenting and find out why it's not working for most parents. And if we can save the next generation of kids before it's too late. In order to do that, though, we need to learn how we got here in the first place. You know,
you don't want to do authoritarian or gentle. You want to do a parenting style called authoritative. Also, I would also research a lot into the Montessori method of raising your children. It's genius.
And rough out here when having a good mom or dad is seen as a luxury. We can agree that no one's perfect, but does that give you the right to treat your children as if they're your property just
Obviously
because
not.
you gave birth to them? For pretty much all of human history, the default parenting style was pretty much the traditional authoritarian style, where, for lack of better terminology, you do what I say because I said so. No argument, no discussion, no reason as to why such and such rules are enforced. Nah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that'll get your kids to listen, but it ain't gonna get your kids to like you very much or ever talk to you again the moment they get out of your house.
If you gave even the slight,
as well as really fucking them up emotionally. Now, I was raised by absent parents, and I essentially raised myself via video games and by going to other people's houses. I was pretty much just always traveling. I was almost never in my house at all.
Disobedience. Congratulations. You just invited yourself to a 3-way conversation. You, your mom, the belt. Unfortunately, this was normal for so long that instilling blind obedience in your child was synonymous with being a good parent. The problem with this, besides, you know, raising a child soldier who's afraid to do anything because they're scared of being beaten or yelled at, is that it's actually possible for parents to take this a step further and abuse this style of parenting to feed their narcissistic and egotistical desires. How many stories of parents trying to live vicariously through their kids' successes, or mom belittling her kids to make herself feel better doing...
See, I don't need any of that because, you know, I was already top 5 in the world at Among Us, top 20 in the world at Riftbound, won the Smite tournament, won the Valorant tournament. To be honest, I have too many accolades to keep track of. I don't need my kids to be the greatest gamer to ever exist. They will be, obviously, by proxy, by merely being in my presence. This is a joke, by the way, for any concerned white moms who are watching this video. Yeah, I just want my kids to do whatever the fuck they want to do, and I just want them to be well-adjusted members of society who are enjoyable to be around. And if that's what they are, then I believe I succeeded as a parent, you know? I just want them to be good company, and that's all I need from them. Everything else, great. And obviously, I want them to be well enough financially to not have to live on the street. If they have their own place and they're nice to talk to, I'm proud of my child. That's it.
Need to hear or yelling, people pleasing. Are these the traits you want to instill in your children who you intend to grow up to be functional adults? However, let me take y'all back to the 2010s.
Okay.
Because at this point, advancements in psychology has entered the world of parenting for well over a century now. And now those same kids are engaging in adulthood and toying with the idea of becoming parents themselves. Those same kids who are finally going to look back at how badly their own parents treated them and say, nah, I'm not going to do that. Thus, the concept of what the internet calls gentle parenting is born. As we can see, it did come from good intentions, where traditional parenting focuses on a punishment and reward system to teach kids the difference between good and bad. The goal—
Can I tell you what really fucked up kids in America? Every father in media being portrayed as completely absent or a retard. And I want you to think of all of the children's shows that you've consumed. And I would like you to tell me, name 3 that have a well-adjusted, well-respected father figure. Are you noticing how chat just went completely fucking silent? That's because no one can fucking think of one. Because they made the role of the father to either be a retard or not there, or they get killed immediately. And that's the truth. And when there's no respect instilled in your parents, especially your father in the media, that's where you get all of your discipline from. That's where you learn respect. That's where you look for guidance. And where kids are taught by watching the media that your father's a joke and he's going to abandon you, that's not really going to help. That's really not going to help the growing of our children.
Is to use empathy, respect, and understanding to teach children appropriate behavior regulation and emotional discipline. Essentially, it would be like if you threw a tantrum as a child, even if it bordered on the line of disrespectful. Instead of your Caribbean parent grabbing "all reliable," they take a moment to verbalize what the child might be feeling in the moment and explain to them why that behavior is harmful to them or others. You know, kind of like,
Daddy sees that you're frustrated, so you threw your toy at your sister, but we don't throw toys at our sisters, okay? It hurts her. Let's think of other things we can do in the future when we're mad so we're not hurting anyone else.
Yeah, they don't get that because they're a dumb kid.
Okay?
and in theory, it should work, but not for mushroom typical.
How about you hit him with the "get your ass in the car, boy"? Get your ass in the car, boy. You better cut that shit out right now there, boy. I swear to God. I swear to God. Don't make me get your father. Don't make me get your father. I swear to God, child. I swear to God, child. That shit kept me on the straight and narrow, bro. When I was raised in a black family household, also, Nancy and Junior, if you're out there, thank you for taking care of me for the 5 years. Love y'all dearly. Hey, Nancy was bad enough, okay? Loved her, by the way, loved her. Because when things were good, oh, here you are, sweetheart. You want some collard greens and some fried chicken? How about some macaroni, boy? How you doing, child? Hey, come here. Love her. I ain't ever want to see Junior. Junior come out, hey, I am so sorry, sir. I am so sorry, sir. Hey, you're right. I should not have set off a bottle rocket in your home, sir. I apologize. You know, hey, black families are different. Black families are different.
9549. Our 4-year-old daughter is creative, insanely confident, funny, sweet, and can entertain herself, but well, she can also be controlling, demanding, and basically a little Napoleon. This is what we did. For her first 2 years, we didn't use the word no, only corrected her in the positive. We explained the reason for everything. We never simply say, we are your mom or dad, and we say to do this. We almost always give her the freedom to do things alone, even though it tested our patience. When she did have tantrums, we gave her the space to feel her emotions and only empathized, not tried to correct anything.
Here's what I'm going to do as a child. I'm going to break this down for you. So it's called the parenting OS system. You are going to state the rules, before the undesired behavior happens. Before you walk into a store, you say, we are here to get some snacks and some food for the house. If you throw a tantrum, we will leave. You go in, the moment it happens, you pick them up, no discussion. It doesn't matter if they apologize, and you leave. And you make sure you get them, you were going to get them one thing that they wanted, whether that's their favorite gummies or maybe a Rice Krispie treat. And the moment they act that way, you are going to pick them up, you're going to leave your grocery cart, and you are going to leave. And that might cost you one grocery trip now, but it's going to save you thousands in the future. One inconvenience can save you thousands in the future. And I bet you after 1, 2, maybe 3 times, they're going to understand if they don't act right, nothing good's going to happen. You state the rule once. This is what you're going to do. This is why you're going to do it. And if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. You say it once. No arguing, no debate. If it happens, pick them up, leave. At the park, at the house, in the restaurants, in the grocery stores. And the moment they learn, damn, I really wish I would have actually got that toy. Damn, I could have had gummies right now. That system is going to install. They're going to understand why you're saying is what you're saying. And what happens where if they learn and they listen, life's a lot better. Because a lot of people hate rules, but when we want to understand rules are there for a reason and what that reason is, and they learn by firsthand experience, it's going to install pretty damn quick.
Fast forward 4 years, our daughter can be so terrible. There have been times where our daughter is at a restaurant on the floor crying. We really don't know what we did wrong. We feel like we followed all the books. The only discipline we have for her is the reflection corner with toys, books, and stuffies, which we use more for a space for her to calm down. But we don't know what we're doing wrong. Now, let us think this through. Because according to her, she's doing everything right. Not saying no, giving them a space to express their feelings. But for some reason, they can't understand why their daughter is acting like a menace. Well, it would be easy to blame gentle parenting as a whole, right? You know, the internet.
Oh, and also, here's another great thing. You're going to read to your kids, starting from the 5-month mark where your wife is pregnant, you're going to read to them every day, morning and night. I want to remind you, on average, parents that read to their children every day, their kid goes in to preschool being more familiar with words they've heard repeatedly, over 270,000 more words they have heard than parents who haven't. And when your child has a better reading comprehension, they'll have better comprehension skills in general, which means your communication between child and parent is even higher, meaning they will understand what you are saying better. And if your child understands you, well, then they'll also listen better. So having a generally better, well-adjusted and educated child is very good for having a functioning child and a well-listened child. Very important to read to your kids. Very important.
Already doing it. But there is something missing from her understanding of what gentle parenting actually is. As a matter of fact, there's something missing from my own definition that I gave to you guys not too long ago.
Oh, and by the way, also read the Bible to your child. Yep, I'm making this religious. I'm making this religious. You know what makes your kid good? Reading them the Bible. You want to know why? Because Christianity built our goddamn country of the United States of America, and that's the reason why it's the goddamn best country on planet fucking Earth. Because Christian values make the world a better place. Whether you're religious or not, you have to understand Christianity builds the greatest countries, and that's for a goddamn reason. Yes, sir. I rarely ever make it religious. Today we're crossing the line. Yes, sir.
Boundaries. The common misconception about gentle parenting from both users and deniers is that they believe that boundaries don't exist at all within the parenting style. The idea that you can just allow your child to do whatever they want at any time that they please. But I get it though, right? Like I've seen enough TikToks of kids being gentle parented, and I get why from an outside perspective it looks like their home is a free-for-all. But in reality, what it's supposed to be the actual definition is that you're supposed to use empathy, respect, understanding, and boundaries to teach kids proper behavior. Oh, kid throwing a tantrum in public? That's cool. But shit behind going home though. Immediately, kid makes a mess and gets it on themselves. Great. Not only are you helping me clean this up, but now bath time's a few hours early. You throw a toy in my face? No more toys for the rest of the day. Children
easy.
still need to know the difference between right and wrong, and that
I love this video, and I am so glad we are talking about not gentle parenting, pussy parents. This is a banger fucking video.
actions can have consequences. Not for some arbitrary power dynamic, but how else will they grow up to be functioning adults if they're given complete freedom to react however they want just because they're upset or frustrated? Have y'all ever met an adult man-child?
Screaming,
Yeah, Miss Kiff.
falling to the floor, throwing things.
Don't raise your kids to act this way. It's okay to be
Jesus.
frustrated, but they need to know there are consequences for behaving in a way that negatively affects other people. They're not the center of the universe. But you know what's crazy? There's actually something I want to prove, and that is that there's a lot of flack that gentle parenting gets that's rather misdirected. Sure, there's gentle parenting, but there's also permissive parenting.
Okay.
Both parenting styles, by definition, are gentle, but only one turns a toddler into Satan's greatest soldier. Permissive parenting is parenting with no structure, boundaries, or rules. They're highly responsive and affectionate to a child's emotions, but avoid conflict and discipline out of fear for their child not liking them or going into it. The good thing about gentle parenting, when done correct,
I don't give a fuck if my kids like me. Don't care if my kids like me. They're going to respect me because I'm not worried about whether we're friends or not. I'm worried if they're going to be prepared for the future because this world is a very cold and a very harsh place. Now, if they respect me and like me, that's great. That's awesome. But that's not my priority. My priority is to make them a socially acceptable human being who can actually function with the hardships that exist in the day-to-day life. Now, will it break my heart if they don't like me when they're like 3 years old, 4 years old? Obviously. When they're 14, 15, I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm worried about them being ready to go out and get a fucking job and function in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make sure your kid functions in this world more than anything.
is that it's not just about setting consequences and rules for the sake of rules, but many times setting the boundaries, setting the consequences and rules before the act even happens. So if they ever break said rule, they're not confused as to why they're going home early or why their Nintendo Switch is in the broom closet all of a sudden, or sometimes even explaining why the rule they set is important and how it's for their benefit. You know, like,
look, Daddy understands that you don't want to go to bedtime because you were having fun, correct? You were in the middle of playtime. But see, sleep is important. That way you can wake up tomorrow morning and have enough energy to go play some more tomorrow. What part of bedtime would you like Daddy to help you with? Oh, you wish Mommy were here?
So do I, kid. But with permissive parenting, the parent oftentimes cares so much about building a friendship with their kid, being seen like the good guy, that they're scared to enforce even the most basic rules that are literally for their own kid's benefit and safety. If a kid is throwing a tantrum because they want to go to the store with you, but they don't want to put on their shoes, an authoritarian parent would have threatened the belt. A gentle parent would go, well, if you can't wear your shoes, you can't come to the store with us. A permissive parent? The child would have already been halfway to the store, bare toes to concrete. You can't really...
Hey, by the way, boys, for all y'all hearing this about your kid, you know who else you need to have these rules with? You also need to have them with your girlfriend. You do. You can't just have a girlfriend that does dumb shit all the fucking time. You can't. You have to have very open conversations with your significant other. And you have to say, well, I would like to go to the club. We're really fucking poor, and spending $180 right now isn't a good idea. I understand you want sushi every fucking day, but we can't afford it. Oh, I know it would be great for you to spend $400 on your nails, but unfortunately, I get paid $5 an hour. A lot of you guys out there, you have a significant other who is fucking you financially and they're not carrying their weight. Make sure you let them know what they need to do and how their financial decisions are fucking your life. I know so many people where every single problem they have is because they're horrified of their significant other. And they can't say what they're doing is ruining their life. So boys, if you're dating someone who's a little bit stupid, you're gonna have to educate them on, hey, by the way, sweetheart, I understand that it would be really cool if we, stopped working for 3 weeks and going to Italy and spend $10,000. But unfortunately, bills exist. You gotta explain it, boys. Now, I don't have this problem. Okay, my wife spent $80 on her wedding dress. I told her she could spend $3,000. I don't have this issue. But I see a lot of people that do have this issue. And you need to be careful out there, fellas. Do not let your significant other ruin your life just because her pussy real tight. You can't. You can't.
Blame them though, not entirely at least. My theory is a lot of parents end up becoming permissive on accident, likely because they're so opposed to the authoritarian approach, wanting to leave the abusive approach behind, so desperately wanting to do the gentle approach, yet scared that they're gonna screw up, that they
I am really hoping that he shows in the middle of this, there is another style called authoritative, which I think is the best parenting style.
end up going so far to the other side of the spectrum that you actually end up being abusive again by being neglectful to their basic needs. Sure,
Very
those kids
true.
may grow up feeling very loved and very safe around their parents, but they also grow up to have a lack of self-discipline, poor social skills, very self-involved and self-focused, and overall, very poor decision-making skills and emotional awareness. Something that Passion Choice 3538 unfortunately knows all too well. I think I'm failing my boys trying to gentle parent. I have 3 sons, 6, 6, and 2, and I really started researching gentle/positive parenting and trying to put into practice around the time my twins were 2. However, I feel like by trying to constantly remember everything I've read/learned, I struggle in the moment, and I'm realizing I'm more of a permissive parent right now more than anything. I fall into the trap of letting them do things on their own timeline, and it's backfired. They still both suck their thumbs, they still need help in a bathroom, they still need me to lay with them every night to fall asleep, they need help getting dressed, and academically because we never pushed anything. I think they're pretty behind for kids their age. The biggest area I struggle in is discipline. I'm going to be so transparent, I have little to no idea how to do it. For example, when one of my kids pushes the toddler down or takes something from him, I don't know what to say or do. Because timeouts are viewed as ineffective and that would be my go-to response, I just feel like I do nothing. I give the toddler another toy and don't discipline the culprit. I'm feeling like
Always ignore people tell you what you can never do in situations when they never provide what you can do, right? Because when all people can do is scrutinize, but they can't provide a solution for what the correct outcome is, these people are not to be listened to. It doesn't matter. People say, no, 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 no. Well, what do? That's for you to figure out. You try something new? No, no, no. They're idiots, bro. Ignore any advice from anybody who says no without providing what is a yes.
I'm just in no way doing my job as a parent right now. By doing research for this video, and by research, I mean Reddit, this is unfortunately something that I saw often, of parents trying so hard to do everything.
How are people this stupid? Brother, you have no idea how much short form content and scrolling algorithms are ruining your fucking brain. It is brainwash and it makes you retarded. And people should know this, but they don't.
Everything right under the framework of gentle parenting. They read all the books, watch all the videos, listen to all the podcasts. They have a general understanding of what they're supposed to be doing. But alas, in the heat of the moment, that's when their default setting comes to light. And they always find themselves on either side of the spectrum. When it actually gets to a point where they need to set consequences, they either default back to yelling, corporal punishment, or being unnecessarily aggressive, or giving into their demands, letting them do whatever they want to avoid another tantrum. And the child now doesn't believe that the behavior is wrong. And furthermore, all they need to do is threaten to act like a fool, and mommy and daddy will let them do what they want. The issue here is, the concept of gentle parenting is much more difficult than probably every other form of parenting out there. Both ends of the extreme just needs you to fall victim to whatever emotion you feel at the time, anger or fear. You try to communicate that you understand their feelings, why their frustrations are valid, but you feel the scene they're causing is erring too close to what's disrespectful. Or you're already so tired and yet another breakdown by your toddler is the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's technically easier just to exert your physical superiority and literally force them to do what you want them to do. Thinking, screw it, I'll just do what my parents did to me in this.
Takes the baby, power bombs it. it.
situation and pay for whatever therapy they need in the future. Or you're so tired and annoyed that you figure saying yes to whatever stupid thing they want in a moment is worth it for a good night's rest. But the problem here, obviously, is how many times are you going to allow that behavior to happen until it becomes a learned habit? And let's say you do slip up. Is it accurate to believe you're going to be confident the next time you find yourself in a similar situation? Or will you freeze and go back to your default? Unfortunately, this isn't an issue that's exclusive to gentle parenting, but a lot of the parenting styles people make the decision to commit themselves to, they find themselves pigeonholed, caring more about whether or not what they're doing fits within the rulebook. Analysis paralysis. You're so afraid of making the wrong choice that you end up making no choice. And you'll keep blaming yourself for doing it wrong. Almost as if you care more about fitting within the rules of a parenting criteria than you do about actually parenting. I think the issue here is obvious. And it's not entirely the parents' fault, because they want to do right by their child, but struggle with the idea that it's not.
Your parents are so well behaved. Thanks. We don't gentle parent. Yep. Isn't that crazy?
At the end of the world if they don't follow the exact framework that one Reddit comment said, especially when there isn't anything that explicitly states how to appropriately give consequences. But from what I've seen of the gentle parenting world, it's more conversational than the other styles because, for example, if your child were to hit another child, the consensus of most gentle parents are to immediately separate and remove your child from the area. But explain why what they did was hurtful and not okay. Ask why they did it and talk about how they could handle that situation differently in the future. Framing it not as a punishment, but as a way to protect the other kid because they made them upset, and allowing your child to wrestle with that. Again, this won't work though unless you as a parent come to terms with the fact that you'll never really know the answer when fitting into a parenting style matters more to you than making sure your child is prepared for the consequences of real life. But I get it. Most of us didn't grow up with a gentle parent, so we don't know what one looks like. Which takes us to Super Cryptographer 72. Can anyone else relate to how insanely hard it is to gentle parent when you were raised in an environment that was the opposite of everything you're trying to do? Nothing like gentle parenting to bring to light that I myself have awful coping mechanisms for my own intense emotions.
Oh, dude, because I was raised in a absent parent environment, all I do is research as much as I fucking can on actually how to be a good parent that can grow great children. Because I don't have that framework. So all I do is research non-fucking stop. Like I'm on like my third book. And then that's like all the content I consume. Because it's so important. Like that's one thing in life you do not want to fuck up. I cannot imagine having your legacy just being an entitled brat failure cunt, right? Like raising good children is the most important thing in the world. And people just take it lightly. They pop out a kid, and then when it comes out, they Google some questions. Brother, you would study for a test that has a 2% effect on your overall grade, and you're telling me you didn't research anything before having kids? What are we talking about?
I was spanked and hit and constantly belittled and yelled at growing up. Kids were seen and not heard. Kids' feelings and thoughts didn't matter. Obedience was key. And my parents beat that into me. I have no issues understanding big emotions and meltdowns that kids have and understanding why they're doing what they're doing. But my patience is so thin when I'm alone and one-on-one trying to navigate hard moments to be the parent my kid
and it's an 18-year-long test, true.
deserves. Piggybacking off of story 2, story 3 is the one that ties this all together. For most people who attempt to gentle parent, they're literally going against their own nurture. It's foreign to you as someone who's raised on the literal opposite side of the spectrum. Imagine trying to gentle parent your kid after they do something where if you did the same thing, you would have gotten that 2-piece wombo combo by your mom. As one Reddit comment pointed out, seeing your kid do things that you used to be punished for as a child literally triggers your nervous system and puts you back in that exact same state. We live in a world where people are trying to do better than their own parents, but struggle because it's so far outside societal norms. So is the issue really with gentle parenting exclusively, or is the problem trying to fight against tradition and find the best way to do that? And
my child life was me being fucking terrified of my mom at every second of the day because she hated her job. And when she came back home, let me just let you know, we all knew she hated her job. And then there was my dad, who legit was never there. And if he was drinking rum and coke, riding his exercise bike, watching the news at full blast. And that's it. That's it. Like literally, that is it. So I had to bounce around from house to house, and I just consumed myself in video games because I had nobody to raise me, man.
And honestly, I get it. Besides, the baseline difficulty of literally raising another human being, if there's one thing kids have mastered and perfected to a science, it's rage bait.
It's not your birthday, boy. It's Marion's birthday.
Jesus.
Spit on me just now?
Yes.
Hey! What the hell? Hey! Give me this! Messiah! Messiah!
How did you get this? I'm finna whoop you.
I swear to God, there are some TikToks I found on people's kids where I fear that level of rage bait would have affected me. On top of the fact that it's already embarrassing and awkward for lots of parents to have their toddler throw a tantrum in public, especially in settings where lots of people are watching.
Oh, bro, here's what my future kids don't understand. I don't experience social anxiety. If they try to embarrass me in public, I will pull down a chair. I'll just watch them. And I say, oh, that's cool, man. You done? All right, hey, guys, check this shit out. You can't embarrass me. You can't make me feel pressure because you screaming. That shit ain't gonna do nothing. That shit will do nothing to me. I'll just laugh. I'm like, okay. And then, go ahead. Hey, if this is what you want to do, okay.
All those eyes you perceive as judging you, maybe you think, they must think I'm a bad parent because I can't get my child under control. In those moments, it's easy to revert back to the ancient techniques your mom instilled in your DNA. But
no chocolate or no chocolate. I know that shit. Hey, I was raised by Mexicans too.
that's when the deeper conversation gets started. What work can be done to unpack whatever prior traumas you have in your childhood so you know why it's easy for you to get so triggered when your kid does something wrong? You don't want to slip up just because it's easier and less awkward to act fast in the moment than do what you know is right. But that poses another problem though. Is there such a right thing as the right way to parent someone? Is it
Authoritative parenting. That's what I found works the best. That's what makes sense the most with my ideology. Let's see.
crazy how there's so many rule books on parenting, podcasts, YouTube videos, and yet there's not a single one that can teach you how to raise your kids specifically? The pattern with all three of these stories is emulative as to why gentle parenting is not the answer to toxic parenting either. Because forcing yourself to stick to one style in every scenario for every child you have isn't the answer to effective parenting.
Very fair.
Ironically, diversifying your parenting styles and being flexible to what makes sense in the moment, even specifying it per child,
absolutely
is way
makes
better
sense.
than being gung-ho on finding one right way. Now,
Very
that doesn't
true.
mean throw the entire book at them and constantly switching styles just because. But hey, it's about remembering the big picture, huh? If mom is more prone to nurturing, she could help teach you empathy and emotional intelligence. If dad is more prone to structure, he can teach you responsibility and proper discipline. Because
true.
at the end of the day, it's not about whose parenting style is right or wrong. It's about what type of adult do you want your child to grow up to become? And if that adult is a multifaceted person, wouldn't that require a multifaceted approach?
Very
But hey,
true.
What do I know? I'm not a parent. But if me telling you that
Very
is enough
true.
for you to discount this entire video, then I mean, I guess, bro.
I don't think you need to eat shit to know what shit tastes like. I don't think you have to live in Africa to know that you don't want to live in Africa. And I don't think you can't have an opinion on something that you haven't done. It may be uninformed and you can acknowledge that, or unexperienced, but I still feel like people who don't have parents can still talk about the way that they would raise parents and have an open, honest discussion about it. And I think that guy said a lot of great things. Now, I wish he would have provided the right way, or at least some ideas of what he thought the right way were, but it is what it is. Other than that, pretty damn decent video, and it was at least fun to talk about. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next